This is the PickBits Daily Signal for Monday, June 29th, your signal in the day's tech noise. Here's the lineup. 1. That memory shortage that's been quietly raising the price of your next laptop and phone? Samsung and SK Hynix just answered it with a $590 billion bet and told us relief isn't coming until 2028. 2. The FTC just cleared Elon Musk personally to buy the company that makes the optical wiring inside his AI data centers. 3. California is about to decide whether money set aside to clean the air in its public schools goes to the schools or quietly back to the utilities. And 4, on the brighter side, researchers are training AI on the bowel screening samples we usually throw away and catching cancer earlier because of it. Let's get into it. This is the PickBits Daily Signal. Story 1. For a few weeks now, we've been following a shortage you can actually feel in your wallet. AI is eating up the world's memory chips, and the price of everything that uses them is creeping up.
AI is taking all the RAM. That leaves less for graphics cards, less for computers, less for phones.
Less supply could mean higher prices.
We're probably going to see some prices go up in some places.
Apple and Microsoft have already raised prices. The new MacBook lost its aggressive pricing, and earlier this month, a camera company, GoPro, basically couldn't afford the chips to build its cameras anymore. So here's the supply side's answer. Samsung and SK Hynix, the two companies that make about 80% of the high bandwidth memory AI runs on, just announced a combined $590 billion to build more of it. 4 new chip factories in South Korea, a giant packaging center, and 15 years of next-gen research, with the Korean government behind it. That's an enormous number, but it does not fix the problem this year. They said it plainly. Demand outruns supply for years, and relief isn't expected before 2028. Memory prices are projected to jump another 40 to 50% just this quarter. So if you're building anything, a product, a fleet of PCs, a cloud budget, that quietly assumed memory stays cheap, reprice it now. And if you buy memory directly, get on your vendor's calendar this quarter, because the people who make it are telling you the squeeze lasts years. Send this to whoever owns your hardware budget. Story 2. We've watched the AI hardware stack get pulled apart and bought up piece by piece, the memory, the power, and now the wiring. This week, the FTC cleared Elon Musk to buy Mesh Optical, a startup that makes the high-speed optical links that move data between chips inside a data center. And one detail there is genuinely unusual. The approval names Musk personally, not SpaceX, not his AI company, Musk himself. The startup was founded by former SpaceX engineers, and its main product moves data at the top speeds the AI labs want, while using about a third of the power of the competition. So why does one networking deal matter? Because the wiring between the chips is becoming a bottleneck, the same way memory and power already did.
Analysts have been waiting for the debut of a new technology called co-packaged optics. It could eventually mean NVIDIA replaces the 5,000 copper cables 2 miles worth inside its rack-scale systems like Vera Rubin, with tiny glass fibers made by Corning.
Those layers are getting owned by the same small group of people building the biggest AI systems. And yeah, you can call it smart. Getting the whole stack under one roof is how you make it actually work. But I keep snagging on one thing. There's nothing neutral left for anyone else to build on. Follow this one, because more and more, the few who own the whole stack get to set the terms for everyone who builds on it. Story 3. This one's smaller and closer to home. California has a program called CalShape, short for Schools Healthy Air, Plumbing, and Efficiency. It's money set aside to upgrade ventilation and air quality in public schools, the actual air kids breathe in class. Schools have spent the last few years patching this with whatever money they could scrape together.
Schools across the country are using air cleaning devices, often bought with COVID relief money, to attempt to kill the virus. But experts warn these are unproven and could actually even be harmful.
Any of that money the schools don't claim doesn't roll over, and it doesn't stay with the schools. It goes back to the utilities. So this is a real choice sitting in a budget line: cleaner air in classrooms, or money handed back to the power companies. And the thing about a default like this is that it doesn't make headlines. It just happens unless somebody acts. So here's the concrete move, and it's narrow, but it's real. If you work at or with a California public school or district, go to energy.c-a.gov and check whether your site has unclaimed CalShape money for ventilation or plumbing and apply before it reverts. Share this with anyone who runs a school or a district's facilities, because the money is already sitting there. It just has to be claimed. Story 4. And let's end on the other side of all this. because not every AI story is about who owns the stack. Researchers in New Zealand are doing something genuinely clever with a test a lot of you already take. The National Bowel Screening Program mails out a simple stool test, the FIT test, and once the lab checks it, that sample normally gets thrown away. They're training AI on those discarded samples, reading the gut bacteria inside them, the microbiome, and modeling patterns that are far too tangled for a simpler test to catch. Early results flag a person's bowel cancer risk at up to 90% accuracy, no new test, and no colonoscopy. It just pulls far more signal out of the sample you already gave, and it's part of a bigger shift. A separate stool test line is reporting it can catch around 90% of colorectal cancers, and AI that watches a colonoscopy in real time is already helping doctors spot the polyps that are easy to miss. So here's the genuinely useful part. If you're in the age band that gets mailed a screening kit, do the next one. The test you keep putting off is the raw material. This turns into an early warning. Send this to the person in your life who keeps ignoring theirs, so that's where the day lands. Most of it was the same fight, who gets to own the hardware AI runs on, with one quiet local one about classroom air money that reverts if nobody claims it. But I'll leave you on the last one, because it's the other half of the picture. The same technology everyone is racing to control is also, right now, learning to catch cancer earlier from a test you already take. Both of those are true at once. That's the signal. I'll see you tomorrow.